Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Biden prepares to announce news on the Supreme Court. We have what the president wants to do. And Trump now has a VP pick. Hear what a local Republican leader had to say about Trump's choice. Plus, after almost 13 hours of deliberation, the jury in Senator Bob Menendez's trial reached a verdict. What they found coming up.
And the radar's looking pretty clear out there except for one shower. It's going to look like that pretty much coming our way today. But the rain chances are ramping back up, and you're going to want to stick around and see what the temperatures are next week. That's coming up in the weather.
Kobe Bryant's dad, John Jellybean Bryant, passed away at 69 years old yesterday. That's in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 17th day of July 2024. The time is now 6:30 on our Wednesday morning. Let's go ahead and get a look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, it's going to be sunny today, but cool weather is on the way.
Yes, don't let those clouds deceive you if you're tuning in with us right now live here in Victoria. A little bit cloudy out there this morning, but I'm expecting those to go away into the afternoon. We got mostly sunny skies and another hot, humid day coming our way today and actually tomorrow as well. We're going to look at that in just a second because it's already plenty warm and humid out there. Pretty sunrise with all the colors out there. 77 here in Victoria. Dew point is 2 degrees off at 75, bringing the humidity to 94%. And usually in the fall and winter months, the air would be more cooler and dense. You'd see fog, but we're not expecting that this morning. We are expecting one of us, for really just a couple, select few of us, seeing a shower out there. Looking at it's northwest of Bay City, north of Blessing, and also northwest of Markham, coming north of right along highway, or I think that's Highway 71, but coming up north towards County Road 426 and also 409 this morning. So get your umbrellas if it's coming that way, coming your way. But otherwise, coming the rest of the day, I think got shower chances at 20% today. Going to be kind of like yesterday, maybe 2, 3, or 4 spotty showers somewhere in the crossroads. But very, very low cover today because that's going to continue to die off going into tonight. And then tomorrow we're going to have a stalled cool front. Yes, a cool front, you heard me correctly. It's going to stall in central Texas, bringing us some rain. Got some thunderstorms coming our way sometime in the late afternoon, sometime after 3, 4 p.m. No severe weather is expected. It's going to cool us off maybe a tad bit going to tomorrow night. Otherwise, going to be near 100 degrees in northwestern counties today, feeling as high as 109, 110 with the humidity still around. But that's all going to go away as soon as the rain returns the next few days. And we're going to look at that later on Sunrise. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Monday night, the city of Seadrift, their city council terminated its police chief, Marie Carrizales, in a unanimous vote. The Port Lavaca Wave reported on June 26 that the department named recently hired officer Cheyenne Beaver as interim chief. Beaver was hired on June 26 while an investigation into Carrizales and Officer James Easley pended. Authorities say the investigation cleared Easley, who will return to work once he's taken care of his medical issues. Former President Donald Trump chose U.S. Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate in the 2024 presidential election. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick spoke with a local Republican leader about the decision.
New generation come up. Let young guys like you figure out what to do, rather than the geriatric bunch that we have here of my generation.
It is therefore my honor to nominate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance for the office of Vice President of the United States of America.
The National Republican Convention cheered on Senator J.D. Vance as the former president made the announcement. However, the decision was shocking. One, names like Senator Marco Rubio or Governor Doug Burgum seem to be obvious choices. Two, Vance was not Trump's biggest supporter. This was him in 2016.
I'm definitely not going to vote for Trump because I think that he's projecting very complex problems onto simple villains. But
times have certainly changed, and like many Republicans at the convention, Bill is happy for the change.
He works his way out of poverty and goes into the Marine Corps, and he's a Marine Corps enlisted guy. I said, man, I like this guy. The more I look at him, the more I like him.
Though many expected Trump to go for a more diverse pick, Republicans are not upset with his final choice.
JD is pro-America.
He stood out for me.
I'm happy that he's got someone who loves this country.
As President Biden and former President Trump continue to go head-to-head, Vice President Kamala Harris has already accepted to debate J.D. Vance. The Palacios Police Department reports the city is now under FEMA response due to Hurricane Beryl. The burn site is now closed to the public. Currently, all piles of debris must be checked before they can be picked up. FEMA has very strict rules for reimbursement, and Palacios cannot afford to pick up all the debris without FEMA's reimbursement, which can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tuesday morning, Victoria Police and emergency crews responded to a two-vehicle wreck on North Navarro Street. Police say the Volkswagen traveled east onto a private drive when a GMC traveling northbound hit it from behind. All passengers and drivers were taken to area medical centers with non-life-threatening injuries. The GMC driver was cited for failure to control speed and no driver's license and not securing two children under 8 or less than 4 feet and 9 inches in safety seats. A jury found New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez guilty on all 16 counts in his federal bribery trial on Tuesday. The charges against the senator include bribery, extortion, acting as a foreign agent, obstruction of justice, and several counts of conspiracy. He had pled not guilty in the case, as did his wife, Nadine Menendez. Her trial is delayed following surgery for a breast cancer diagnosis. He now faces calls to resign as his seat remains up for re-election in November. Today, President Biden is wrapping up a 2-day swing in Nevada, hoping to fend off calls to end his campaign. And sources say he's now zeroing in on the Supreme Court with plans for a dramatic overhaul.
President Biden is reportedly planning to endorse major changes to the Supreme Court, including term limits for justices and an enforceable ethics code. That's according to the Washington Post, citing 2 people briefed on the plans. Reproductive rights have been a major focal point of Biden's campaign since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
There's going to probably be 2 more appointments to the court. Just imagine if he has 2 more appointments on that, what that means forever.
Biden returned to the campaign trail yesterday, visiting Las Vegas. Speaking to the NAACP, he took jabs at a comment Trump made during last month's debate about migrants taking black jobs.
Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States.
A new national poll taken after the assassination attempt on former President Trump shows it remains a tight race. Trump leading Biden 43 to 41%, still within the margin of error. But Biden faces more challenges within his own party, unhappy with his debate performance. Some lawmakers have now drafted a letter calling on the Democratic National Committee to delay a virtual roll call for Biden's nomination in the coming days, arguing it would shut down the possibility of picking another candidate. In audio obtained by ABC News, California Congressman Adam Schiff privately warned donors he thinks Democrats could be wiped out in November if Biden is at the top of the ticket.
I do not think he is the best person to go into this election. I think if he is our nominee, I think we lose.
But Biden says he's reluctant to walk away when the country is so divided.
The only thing age brings a little bit of wisdom. And I think I've demonstrated that I know how to get things done.
Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Tuesday marked the 55th anniversary of the historic launch of the Apollo 11 mission, during which astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first people to land on the moon and walk the lunar surface. On July 16, 1969, Armstrong, Aldrin, and Michael Collins launched into space atop an enormous Saturn V rocket. 4 days later, on July 20th, Armstrong and Aldrin touched down on the moon, becoming the first humans to walk on another planetary body. The U.S. launched the Apollo program as a commitment to beat the Soviet Union in putting people on the moon. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you think space exploration should be funded more? Okay, let's take a look. 47% of you say yes and 53% of you say no. We want to keep hearing from you all. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:39 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. With the cost of living on the rise, the city now looks for ways to help its employees.
I'm ABC's Perry Russum in Milwaukee. Nikki Haley taking center stage at the RNC, who once called Trump unhinged. That story coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your weather and health forecast, followed by your marine forecast. And later on Sunrise, we're going to take a look at all that rain that's coming our way and what the temperatures are going to be dropping to. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, look at this pretty sunrise coming up in Cuero. If you're going to go see that sunrise, it's a great time to do that. Not too bad of a morning out there. 77 degrees out there, and your dew point 1 degree off of that temperature, bringing you a 98% humidity. So it's definitely a little bit humid. You might see some dew on your windshield. I'm not really expecting any fog for today, because today it's going to be getting up to about 94. I'm thinking here in Victoria, winds are going to be a little bit light, between 5 to 10 miles an hour, and mostly sunny. I'm expecting today. Sometime in the afternoon, clouds will shift to mostly sunny skies. But heat and disease, that's going to be up to 110 for some of us. So please be careful in that heat and humidity. Heat is actually the #1 weather-related death, so please be careful with that. But in good news is, we got to have some good news. Pollen's going to be nice and low all across the board. The air quality, that's going to be moderate today, nothing really to worry about. And your UV index, that's going to be extreme when the sun comes out this afternoon. So please be careful if you have some sensitive skin, because it's not going to be too bad of a day to get down to the beach and maybe tan some, or even get out of the waters. Water's going to be pretty smooth today, 1 foot or less, with your winds nice and light, between 5 to 10 knots out the south-southeast, and your water still plenty warm, 89. 87 in the Gulf. But coming our way the next couple days, it's going to be nice, warm, and humid until the rain comes back, and we've got some cooler temperatures next week. And we're going to take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we're going to look at sports with Max.
Dallas Mavericks point guard Kyrie Irving has undergone surgery to repair his left hand. Irving suffered the injury earlier this month while training. It is not a shooting hand, but the 32-year-old Irving no stranger to injury issues. The Mavs hoping to be ready for camp in about 2 months. Joe Bryant, the father of Kobe Bryant, has died at 69. Bryant was also known as Jelly Bean Bryant, had recently suffered a stroke. Bryant played his college ball at LaSalle and was drafted 14 overall in the 1975 NBA draft by Golden State. He also had stints with the Philadelphia 76ers, then San Diego Clippers, and later the Houston Rockets. A post from the 76ers called Bryant a local basketball icon and offered condolences. This comes 4 years after Kobe and his daughter Gianna died in a helicopter crash. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
Thank you, Max. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Today is day 3 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Last night we saw Trump's opponents from the primary speaking on stage. That includes Nikki Haley, who repeatedly slammed Trump on the campaign trail.
Former President Trump walking into night 2 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Trump watching the speeches of Republicans who bashed him on the campaign trail, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who once questioned how Trump could win in 2024 after losing in 2020.
Let's send Donald Trump back to the White House.
And Nikki Haley, who has called Trump totally unhinged and toxic.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
During the primary, Trump slammed Haley for staying in the race as long as she did, calling her a bird brain.
For the sake of our nation, we have to go with Donald Trump.
Trump's already revered status in his base growing even more this week.
God Almighty intervened because America is one nation under God, and he is certainly not finished with President Trump.
Sources tell ABC News the Secret Service had increased Trump's security detail after intelligence indicated there was an Iranian threat to assassinate him. Officials say there is no indication the shooter from Saturday's assassination attempt had any connection to that threat. President Biden is back on the campaign trail in Las Vegas at the NAACP National Convention.
As Harry Truman said, I've never given anyone hell. I just told the truth and they thought it was hell. That's what I'm going to do. Well, here's the truth about why Donald Trump's presidency was hell for Black America.
Tonight, J.D. Vance, the now candidate for vice president, takes center stage. The theme today is Make America Strong Again. We're being told it has to deal with the threat of China and border security. Perry Russell, ABC News, Milwaukee.
The increasing cost of living is putting a strain on everyone's budget. Now, the city of Victoria is looking for ways to give city employees a raise while sacrificing as little as possible in other areas to make up the difference. 3 proposals were presented to City Council, with some of the plans calling for a decrease in one-time expenditures in 2025 and possibly permanently freezing as many as 10 vacant positions in order to free up the money. Victoria Mayor Dwayne Crocker says all council members are in agreement on one thing they felt should not be changed at all.
And council, as a consensus, told city management that we like the alternative that doesn't touch the updated service credit retirement bonus for our employees.
These pay plan proposals will again be discussed in future council meetings, with a final selection likely to be chosen in the city's August 6th budget proposal. The time is now 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come, the FDA and FTC issued warnings to companies that produce edibles. What are they warning them about?
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I think today's weather is going to be pretty similar to yesterday, only that this time I got chances at 20% for rain, and we got mostly sunny skies instead of partly cloudy. Yesterday we got up to 93, really is about 94 because of 93.8. It's about a degree underneath your average. Well, actually we got about 95 here in the city because of urban heat island effect, but we were pretty underneath our record temperature set in 1918. But it's going to feel like that record temperature. It's going to feel as high as 109, 110 for today and tomorrow. But that's all going to change as we go into this weekend and next week. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is a high temperature in the 80s to start out your week next week. And we're going to take a look at why that is. For starters, I want you to first note that there is an upper level low that is going to be entering the northeast coast going into today and tomorrow, and also all the way into Friday when it dissipates. And that's going to be our first little cool front that's going to come all the way out of Canada, come all the way down into Texas, and it's going to stall in Texas, actually central Texas, sometime tomorrow afternoon. But don't worry, because that's going to bring up the rain chances with lift still present. But then you see this low, there's another upper level low. It's going to slingshot around that high pressure and the Rockies, bringing that heat wave over there. That's going to bring our rain chances up as we start out next week, and our highs, like I said, in the 80s. We're going to take a look at all of that more later on Sunrise. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Lithium-ion batteries are central to the green energy transition. They're used in electric and hybrid vehicles, but new research highlights their drawbacks.
From electric vehicles to battery storage, lithium-ion batteries are powering the clean energy future. But Duke's Lee Ferguson and colleagues found the production and disposal of these batteries are a troubling source of forever chemical contamination.
And we found bisphosphonate actually in those batteries in surprisingly high concentrations in some of them.
Researchers looked at a new type of forever chemical, or PFAS, used as a conductor in batteries, with similar properties to Gen X.
Energy storage is critical, but we need to make sure that we're not using regrettable compounds and materials that could prove problematic for the environment down the line.
Researchers found the unregulated and little researched new PFAS chemical near lithium battery manufacturing sites across the globe and leaching from landfills across the southeast, including in North Carolina.
The vast majority of lithium-ion batteries are actually ending up in landfills,
adding to an already out-of-control pollution problem. PFAS chemicals are present in more than 300 drinking water systems in North Carolina.
Hopefully people can take away from the study a cautionary tale that we could do this differently and that we have that opportunity to do it differently now.
A push for more research into battery components and more responsibility from cradle to grave as clean energy technology ramps up. Liz McLaughlin, WRAL News.
2 regulatory agencies are cracking down on the illegal sales of copycat food products containing Delta-8 THC. On Tuesday, the FDA and the FTC issued warnings to 5 companies that produce Delta-8 THC edibles. Regulators are concerned about the product packaging because it looks very similar to popular foods. The FDA says consumers may easily confuse these products for traditional foods, leading to accidental ingestion or overconsumption, particularly for children. The price of gold has hit an all-time high. Gold jumped to a record above $2,400 an ounce on Tuesday. The news comes with hopes the Federal Reserve will soon cut rates and boost demands. A weakened dollar has also supported the demand for bulk gold and silver. On Tuesday, the U.S. dollar rebounded after falling to a 5-week low. According to UBS, central banks' buying of bulk gold and silver is the highest it has seen since the 1960s. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq intercepted drones. The details coming up. U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq intercepted 2 attack drones on Tuesday. A U.S. defense official says the drones were in the vicinity of the Al-Assad air base. The official says no injuries were reported and all personnel were accounted for. It appears to be the first attack on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria in nearly 3 months. The last attack on April 22nd, the U.S. military shot down the 2 attack drones at the same air base. U.S. and coalition troops are housed at the facility. We now have more details on the timeline, in the attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump. New information shows how the gunman evaded security. Law enforcement officials say he came to the rally with a rangefinder similar to binoculars used by shooters but not classified as a weapon, so security let him through. Investigators say the would-be assassin then exited the secured area and believe this is when he got a rifle from his car. He then climbed onto an air conditioning unit. Investigators believe it's how he got on a roof outside the perimeter. Governor Greg Abbott defends that his absence during Hurricane Beryl did not impede Texas's disaster response. Abbott's critics say he could have postponed or cut the trip short. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our sunrise. The sun is peeping out already, Parker.
It's looking great, Carolina. Look at this pretty sunrise coming up in Port Lavaca. All kinds of beautiful colors out there this morning. And if you're going to go see that sunrise, it's a great time to do it. It's a little warm, it's a little bit humid, especially along the coast because you're right next to that 85, 86 degree water. But 81 right now in Port Lavaca. Warm morning temperatures start out your day. Still, like I said, humid with your dew point 79, bringing humidity to 94%. I don't expect to see any fog. If you do, it's going to be very, very thin because coming away today, we're going to have lots of sunshine. In fact, you can actually see it right here. All this big clear sky is going to be coming our way here in the next few hours going into the afternoon. And that's going to bring us another warm and humid day. In fact, real hot along in central Texas, right where that sunshine is right now. You can see hundreds of forecasts, 102 San Angelo, 102 Del Rio. Down here in Victoria, though, I got us at about 94. Some of us in the northwestern counties, y'all could be near 100 for a moment or two. But otherwise, like I said, here in Victoria, 94 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Got a 20% chance of showers are possible, maybe 1, 2, or 3 showers kind of lingering here and there around the crossroads, but not super high on those chances because they're going to be ramping up next week.
It'll be nice to get some rain.
Oh yes, I'm ready for those 80s and the rain.
Just hold the wind. We've had enough wind.
Right, yes, that's right, that's right.
All right, well, thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel and join Karina, Don, Mac, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great one.